What's up, guys? It's the Gypsy back at it again. Yeah, this is like the second time I'm making this video. First time I got interrupted, so the video got fucked up. I'm making another one for the fight between Beterbiev versus Joe Smith. Artur Beterbiev, or should I say the Armenian Muslim? Because this guy is Chechens are fucking Armenians that they don't have adopted the religion of Islam. But that's another story. You can clearly tell that he ain't fucking Russian, that's for sure. And nobody really knows where Chechens come from. You know, if you really look into history, they're fucking Armenian, but that's another story. They're mountain people, just like the Armenians are. But that's another story, forget about that. Sadly, I missed the fucking Inoue versus Donaire fight. That was a banger. I saw the highlights. I should have watched the whole fight, but I'm too busy to be watching the fights all the time. I'm gonna watch it for sure, though. I need to watch that. I saw the first fight. I have yet to see the second. I initially picked Inoue to win the first time around by knockout, but that didn't work out. Noni Donaire was a tough son of a bitch, survived and went up to 12. And he lost against Inoue. But that was a good fight. Both of them got some facial things broken. One the jaw, the other one the cheekbone. I mean, the zygomatus, so they say, the cheekbone. Zygomaticus, in the medical terminology. Anyways, orbital bone, whatever it is, I forgot. Somewhere in that area. It's been a while. I haven't watched that fight, but it was a good fight. And I'm presuming the second fight was good too. With the knockout, I assumed that Inoue would knock him out, considering how much he hit him the first fight. But I wasn't sure if he would. But definitely Inoue would win because he was the faster between the two. He was much faster. The first fight, much faster, landed more shots. I expected it, but still, sadly I missed it. I didn't even make a video off of it because I was too fucking busy. But this fight, I'm gonna make a video because I guess I have to make a video since I made wrong calls off of Haney Kambosos and what's the other guy? Rolly versus Tank, and then Errol Spence versus what's that fucking guy's name? Ugas. You know, Ugas didn't have a fight in him. If he had a fight in him, if he was a fighter, he had a big dog in him, he would have fucking probably won and probably still didn't get the decision. Rolly made a mistake, and Kambosos obviously was not in the same league as Haney. I would not give, even if for the rematch, I won't give Kambosos a shot. But you never know, man. Boxing is weird. Maybe he figures out some new things he can do against Haney, but Haney can still adapt, and I think Haney beats everybody based on what I saw. He beats anyone in 135 and 140. No one beats this kid in 135, 140. Only if he moves on 147. That's what I said in my last video. And yeah, he surprised me. I mean, he did the same thing that Errol Spence did back in the day when I picked him to lose against. I picked Kell Brook to beat him, is more like it. And then because he showed me, he hadn't shown me anything special until even when I picked, the crazy thing is I picked Mikey Garcia to upset him as well, because he didn't show anything against Kell Brook that could have fucking, in my eyes, it could have fucking done anything against, well, he could have done something against Mike Garcia. It's not like he couldn't have, but he didn't show much. And to me, go like, oh, you know, Mikey Garcia's gonna get fucking destroyed, or he's gonna get beaten up for 12 rounds, or whatever the case may be, you know. After the Mikey Garcia fight is where I noticed that, you know, either he improved in his skills, Errol Spence, or he was just hiding like how Haney is, hiding his skill set to get bigger fights. You know what I mean? So the motherfuckers aren't afraid of him to fight him. You know what I mean? And Errol, you know, similar to Haney. Tank hasn't done that. Tank has not done that to me. Tank, I'm still not impressed by Tank. I'm impressed by Tank. Oh, you guys might be impressed. Oh, you call him with a good... Bro, he was getting his ass beat the entire fucking fight, and then he Rolly somehow, whether he was paid or not, I don't know. It was a mistake either way. And he gets caught with one shot. It's not impressive. I don't care what you guys say. It's not impressive. It really isn't. You know what I mean? But Haney's performance, impressive. Even though the guy doesn't have power punch. Anyways. Yeah, he might develop it later. This is not about those fights. This is about Beterbiev versus Joe Smith, and I think Beterbiev annihilates Joe Smith. Well, he might have moments of difficulty where he tries to bully Joe Smith around like he did Brown. Like, I expected him to fucking destroy Brown, honestly. And that's exactly what he did. Same thing with... it's not going to be the same thing with Joe Smith, because Joe Smith has a bigger heart, and I think hits harder than Brown by a lot. I won't say by a lot, but a decent amount. I don't know. I can't say by how much, but I'm pretty sure he hits harder. And he's never been dropped. That's another fucking thing about Joe Smith, which will make this fight a very entertaining fight, a blue collar fight. I mean, both these guys are working class, tough dudes. You know what I mean? And it should be an interesting fight. But the problem with Joe Smith is that he's tailor-made for fucking someone like Beterbiev. If Beterbiev can't walk him down, what he does is he's going to do the same thing he did to Gvozdyk. He's going to box him out in the 7th round. Not the same exact thing, but he's going to box him out like he did in the 7th round, 7th to 8th round against Gvozdyk. Because if he wasn't respecting Gvozdyk's power and he was walking him down, he was walking Gvozdyk down, and he was getting hit with a lot of shots, bro. Gvozdyk was touching him up, but then again, every time he got Gvozdyk behind the ropes, he has this little thing that he does. If you watch Beterbiev fight, you'll notice he does this to almost every single fight. Almost every single. I won't say every. He grabs the guy in the clinch, and whether it's the right hand or the left hand, wherever he has an opportunity to hit the guy in the face, he throws this little, like, 1-inch punch type shit that he throws, bro. And that destroys the opponent's will and fucking everything. Just fucks him all up, bro. I think he did that to Usyk, if I'm not mistaken. He did it to fucking Gvozdyk. He did it to almost every fucking guy he's ever faced that he had him on the clinch. And, you know, he demolished almost everyone, bro. Like, you don't want to grab the guy. You don't want to be in a clinch with fucking Beterbiev, bro. That's the one dude you don't want to be in the clinch with, because he has heavy hands, and if he grabs you, he throws these fucking little itty bitty shots that are like either 1 to 2 inch apart, and they just a lot of them, and it decimates his opponents. He can do that to Joe Smith because Joe Smith's as a front foot fighter, he's gonna keep going forward. But if Joe Smith is, his chin is, he's never been dropped, he's tough son of a bitch, you know what I mean? If Joe Smith catches him and he rocks him, and he notices that Joe Smith is not one of those guys, he ain't no Brown, he ain't no Gvozdyk, he's not gonna sit there and trade with him in close range and risk getting knocked out or knocked down. Maybe knocked down once. Maybe he gets knocked down once, but not knocked out. Like, he's not going to risk that. He's not going to risk getting knocked out. So what he's going to do is he's going to box him like which he can easily do. Because Gvozdyk is a better boxer than fucking, Joe Smith. And he made Gvozdyk look stupid in that 7th or 8th round. And then that's where he really put the fucking pressure after Gvozdyk fucking he knew he had no answer. He can't box this dude, because initially Gvozdyk was boxing him and was having a lot of success, even though he got dropped 2 times or one. I think he got dropped twice, but they had 3 knockdowns where one of them was actually a push. I think, I'm not too sure. I don't remember because it's been a while. I haven't seen this fight, even though I've seen it maybe 2 or 3 times. Yeah, one of them was a push. I think maybe 2 of them were a push, if I'm not mistaken, and one of them was an actual knockdown. But Gvozdyk was actually having success. He was the one actually winning the rounds, and even if they weren't giving it to him, he was the guy winning those rounds. And in my opinion, yeah, it's only when I got to a point where the 7th round where he realized, this guy's really touching me up too much. I shouldn't just walk him down, even though I don't respect his power. When he started to really box him, that's where fucking shit hit the fan for Gvozdyk. And that's what Joe Smith has to worry about, because if he decides to box him like he would do like someone against like Usyk, if he actually fights Usyk, he'll try to box him. He won't actually try to walk him down straight. Beterbiev, that is, you know what I mean? If he chooses to box, he can make it a very easy night where he stops him in he can stop him in 6 rounds, you know what I mean? But if he chooses to fight the way he did against Brown and Gvozdyk, where he just straight goes down, walks him down, and with Brown, he didn't even box at all, but Gvozdyk, he did in the 7th, you know what I mean? In the 7th, starting from the 7th on. If he does that, he might reconsider. I'm saying might because I don't know. Maybe Joe Smith's power is enough to fucking keep him honest, and he might still do the same thing he did to Brown, to Joe Smith. So if that scenario happens, then if Joe Smith he hurts him and he feels like he should box him, then it might take a little bit longer. Maybe 7th or 8th round. I think 8th round, and stops him at the 8th, bro. Because Joe Smith, yes, he's got a heart. He's got a heart of a lion, heart of a tiger, whatever you want to call those motherfucking things, bro. You know what I mean? Comparing to animals and shit, but this motherfucker, Joe Smith, is I like both of them, honestly, to be real. Like, they're both entertaining boxers and real men, let's just say that much. I like both of these dudes, and I think Beterbiev is just the better of the 2, and Beterbiev has Beterbiev has been dropped, and Joe Smith hasn't, if I'm not mistaken. But Beterbiev it's been more of a flash knockdowns than anything else, and he comes back and wrecks his opponents by walking them down in the same fights, you know what I mean? That he even got knocked down on, you know what I mean? That's why none of his fights have never went to a decision. He's just a fucking heavy-handed dude, and the clinch is one of his main things too. If he can't catch you doing the walking down process, the pressuring process, he gets the clinch, and he throws these little fucking itty bitty fucking shots, and he wrecks his opponent. His opponent up. But he can also box, and when he decides to box, that's even more of a nightmare to any one of his opponents. Any one of his opponents. Because the guy when he boxes, he doesn't just box. He boxes where it's not like he puts power behind his punches. He sets them up. He sets up back and forth. He's not like Bivol. No, not even close. But pretty good nonetheless. Yes, he's old, but I don't think that age factor is going to play a factor in this fight, because this guy's 24/7 in shape, from what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing. That spring chicken shit that BDA says he's no spring chicken because he's like 37 or whatever. That don't mean shit at this fight, but because as they say, there's levels to this shit, and Joe Smith is not on Beterbiev's level, even if Beterbiev is on a slide, not too much of a slide, but he's on a slide. He has what it takes to make it an easy night if he chooses to box. If he chooses to walk him down, makes it a rough night, but he can, eventually figure out that this is not a good idea and change it up to you know, making a fight, a boxing match like he did in the 7th round against Gosnick, and make it nearly impossible for Joe Smith to hit him while he's delivering heavy bombs at him, which won't even last so much. You know, if he throws a few of them, 1 or 2, 3, and Joe Smith's on his ass. I guarantee you. You know what I mean? If he lands a few, 2 or 3, Joe Smith's on his ass. Even 1 maybe. You know what I mean? Joe Smith's on his ass. The guy is a very destructive puncher. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot of you know, what can Joe Smith do to win? You know, like how some of these motherfuckers make videos about what this guy can do and what this guy can do to win. Joe Smith's chances of winning, bro, is I mean, he ending up in a clinch with this dude is a fucking bad idea. So I don't know if it's, you know, if he should grab him or whatever. Man, I think what Joe Smith should do is, to be honest with you, just to, because he can't fight going backwards, so he ain't no fucking, you know, I don't know, Tyson Fury, Campbell, I don't know, someone, even Kambosos can fight backwards, you know what I mean? Kambosos, yes, he was outmatched in speed and reach, but he still can fight backwards. A lot of fighters, he's not that caliber, bro. He's not a fucking Usyk or anything like that. He can't do that. So based on what you have and what you can do, if I was Joe Smith, I would try to use my jab, get close enough and use my jab, and always have my high guard, defend every area and push the pace. Don't back off from Beterbiev. Yes, that's the only chance he has. I mean, it's still bad. I mean, if you had to pick lesser of 2 evils, you don't back up, bro. You push. It's either go back up and get beat the fuck up, or go forward. At least lands a few good shots and go all out. You know what I mean? And hope for the best. You know what I mean? Hope for the best. You use the jab, make it really difficult. But again, the guys are really. If he decides to box him, Beterbiev, it's a short night for fucking. Very short night for Joe Smith. He goes in there and gets out very quickly. You know what I mean? It'd be a very easy night for fucking Beterbiev if he decides to do that. So. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about this fight. It should be a very interesting fight, no matter how long it lasts. I think it lasts definitely past. I think, in my opinion, I think it's gonna last around, based on like the psychology of these two fighters and how they, you know, how Beterbiev will fight. It all depends on how Beterbiev fights and how. But even then, it's still like, it's not gonna be that simple to take out Joe Smith. I think Joe Smith will survive past 5. Whether he finishes him on 6, 7, 8, I think he'll go to 7 and 8. I think 8 rounds, 7 rounds, you know, I think that's where fucking Beterbiev stops Joe Smith. I think 8th round maybe. Considering the heart of Joe Smith, maybe he lasts. Maybe he gets up to 8, and that's where he started. That's it, man. That's all she blows. All she blows. And that'll be the end for fucking Joe Smith. You know what I mean? This ain't Bivol, bro. I give Bivol the only guy to beat fucking Beterbiev. And not because Beterbiev is old, because Beterbiev is not fast enough. He's not more of a perfectionist like Bivol is, and Bivol avoids getting hit with devastating shots. You know what I mean? But there's also a scenario. There is the fucking thing that if Beterbiev decides to box Bivol, I'll make it a rough and hard night for fucking Bivol. But Bivol will survive, and Bivol would be a closer fight, honestly. If he doesn't choose to walk him down, it'd be a closer fight. If he chooses to box him out, it'd be a much closer fight. A much more closer fight, I think, where Bivol still edges it out. This guy might be 37 years old, but I'm talking about Artur Bjornsson, but he's still got what it takes to beat the lights out of the top tier, well, second guy. You know what I mean? Bivol. He still has the ability to beat someone like Bivol. It's not like he can't, but if I have to favor someone, I will favor Bivol because of the speed, because of the shot selection. You know, he only makes mistakes. He barely makes mistakes, and the ones that you see in the later rounds where he is getting clipped is because he chooses to get hit in order to develop his conditioning to get hit, because you don't want to be the guy that never gets hit and eventually you do get hit and you don't know how to react to it, because you've never been in that situation where you get hit in the 11th and 12th, you know what I mean? And because you always make the guy miss, you know? So that's my fucking pick. I think 7-8 rounds. I think 8th round is where Beterbiev stops Joe Smith. Could be a little bit later, could be a little bit earlier, but I think that's where it's going to be, and I think it's going to be a stoppage. I don't think if Joe Smith was going to get stopped by Bivol, Bivol could have stopped him, and but Bivol chooses to box and brush up his own skills. He chooses to use guys as punching bag. He's not more of he doesn't really look for the knockout usually, even when the knockout's right there to be taken. He's not interested in that as much in at least his past 5 fights, I would say, you know. Obviously, when he was younger, he was more into it. But Joe Smith was one of those guys he should have stopped when he did it. And you can see it, the difference. You can see that. Anyways, it's been real. This has been the Gypsy King. Back at it again. I'm out. Yowza.